This book is 5 stars. I didn't know it was a dark romance. You know, with the labs and the experiments. Okay, what is the first line? I severely messed up. So you see this jar, right? Last month, I forgot that I was supposed to take one of each color. Like, that was the whole point of me having different colors, is each month I take one of each color. Instead, last month I took two of the same color, and I forgot that I had that rule for myself. So I'm sorry, we're just gonna, you know, that happened, but it's okay. What we're gonna do instead is just pretend that did not happen, and just from here on out, go with one of each color. And then, you know, at the end of this challenge, you know, well, obviously it won't be all nice and even because I messed up on the second time. That wasn't my intention. I didn't plan on that, but that's okay. Oh, I didn't add the sparkles to my nails. Hang on, bear with me, and then we can like get into doing the actual read or unhaul it picking selection for the month of April, and it's April 1st. That's not an omen, is it? That better not be an omen. I had a dream that I painted my room sparkly. So I just added a teeny little bit of sparkles, like it just adds a little bit. I accidentally put on way too much on this thumb. I don't know how long this takes to dry. It's been a while since I've used this. Guys, I was just about to say I don't think my nail polish is dry, and it is not. I literally just smudged it just then. But you know, that's so, I don't like this light. Why is it so like orangey? I think you can change the setting. That makes me, it's a little bit blue. That's okay. Ah! I was like, I feel like you guys are gonna fall. Stay. That looks like a little mountain behind me. Actually, kind of looks like a little bit like a little hat. Okay, so we now know that we have to pick one of each color. Unlike me last month, who was clueless. Like, it was one rule for myself, and I didn't do it. That's okay. So we're just gonna like shake it around. Whee! Imagine if all the prompts just came flying out. Okay. Okay, so we need one prompt. Ooh. Yeah, all the nail polish are getting all like messed up. Okay, let's dig. I get jump scared every single time. Okay, what is this? This is a blue one here. Okay, so next two are gonna be pink and yellow. What does this say? Rebecca. No way. There is no way that I just pulled Rebecca. Because what did I pull last month? Jane Eyre. There is no way. Okay, we have Rebecca. Can I see it? Rebecca, I'm so excited to read this. I want to read this so badly. So, Rebecca is dead, and yet she influences every action and thought of all the other characters in the book. The moment I finished, I turned to page 1 and started all over again. On a trip to the south of France, the shy heroine of Rebecca falls in love with... Oh yeah, because doesn't the main character, she never, like, her name is never revealed, and that's like a purposeful thing. Okay, falls in love with Maxim de Winter. I actually love that name, Winter. Like, as a last name, as a first name. Okay, a wealthy, handsome widower. But as they arrive at Manderley, his Cornish mansion, a change comes over Max, and the young bride is filled with dread. Friendless in the isolated house, she realizes that she barely knows the man she's married. And in every corner of every room is the phantom of his beautiful first wife, Rebecca. I'm so excited to read this. And I love this color, by the way. I just know I'm gonna like this. And I don't know. I'm so excited to read this. I'm really happy with this option. Okay. Oh, and it matches. I didn't realize this. Okay, blue. I didn't realize that. Okay, so yellow and pink. And if I pick a blue one, I'm putting it back in there. We're not having another repeat. Like, I can feel my nail polish getting shifted. Maybe it's not. Oh, they're already dry. They dried pretty quickly from the moment that I sat down to this. Like, only been a few minutes. Okay. Ow, I just smacked my face. Okay, please be blue or pink. I mean, yellow or pink. Okay, that's right. What does that say? Ricochet. Oh, wait, hang on. This is the second book in the Addicted Calorie Sister series. See, I read Addicted to You. Honestly, like, I'm not going to read that because, like, I have such, like, a vivid memory of, like, so many scenes in that book. Like, I can't believe I've got, like, that much clarity about, like, all the events around that book. And I definitely feel like I'm going to appreciate it now because, at the time, I definitely related, a lot to Lo. When I read it, basically, yes, the whole point of it is that they're both addicted to addictions. Lily is addicted to sex, and Lo is addicted to alcohol, and then they're together because their families will not get off their backs, and they want to be able to carry out their addictions without it, and then slowly, like, their relationship forms, and it's like, okay, and everything, and their family's like really, really rich. This is a second chance, right? Well, not a second chance, but I'll read this, and if I like it, then I can get the third one in the series, and if not, I'm gonna pack it up, and I'm gonna be like, this series is just not for me, either at this point in time or just forever. So I'm gonna see. So cravings and fantasies becoming a routine. See, and the last thing I remember from the book is, actually, that's kind of a spoiler, I can't really say it. I can't really say, but I remember the ending so vividly, because I was just like, okay, so cravings and fantasies become a new routine, but when Lauren Hill recovers from his alcohol addiction, Lily wonders if he'll realize what a monster she really is. After all, her sexual compulsions begin to rule her life the longer she stays faithful to him. Progress, that's what Lily is striving for, but by trying to become closer to her family, people who aren't aware of her addiction, she creates larger obstacles. But she learns how to be a young sister, she learns more about her than she ever met, and it's an unsettling connection between Daisy and Mike Meadows. Yeah, see, everyone is always like, oh, Raisy this, Raisy that, and I'm like, but he, like, meets her when she's a minor, and then in their books, he literally says that, like, he knew that he loved her. Like, when, like, he doesn't explicitly say, like, when she's minor, but, like, it's clear if you add timelines up. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people do not like Lo because he's very against the relationship. So I'm like, okay, well, if people are against him because I feel like I'm going to like him because of that. See? Unsettling connection. Like, then why did he make them together? Like, there's a different, whatever. Okay. With Lily and Lo's dysfunctional relationship teetering and unbalanced, they will need to find a way to reconnect from miles apart. But the inability to touch proves to be one of the hardest tests on their road to recovery. Some love brushes the surface, some love is deeper than skin. Lily and Lo have 3 months to discover just how deep their really love goes. It's supposed to rhyme. Lily and Lo really goes. Maybe it is supposed to rhyme. Okay. What is the first line? Real. What was the first line for this one? Last night I dreamt I went to Manderley again. So, now we need... So, those two there. I'm actually really excited for this month. This is looking like to be a good month. Like, I'm excited to read both of these books. Okay, so now we just need a pink one. That's a blue. Is that my hair? Did we have 2 pink ones last month? I don't remember. I don't think we did. Okay, this is the pink one. No, I don't want to read this. It's okay. I feel like every single month there's like a book that I clearly do not want to read. So it's like, okay then, just unhaul it. Just unhaul it then. But I'm gonna give it a chance. I started reading this when I was 17. I took it on vacation. It's one of the first ever like book kind of videos I ever made in my entire life. This is Firestarter by Stephen King, and it's a movie. Maybe I need to watch the movie. It's just, I don't know, how many pages is it? Good lord, it's almost 600 pages. Okay, let's read the first sentence together. Daddy, I'm tired, the little girl in the red pants and the green blouse said fretfully. Can't we stop? Okay, so Andy McGee and Vicky Tomlinson, Louis Tomlinson. Is it the same last name as Louis from One Direction? When it's college students looking to make some extra cash, all this is all coming, volunteering as test subjects for an experiment. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, those college students, they volunteered as test subjects. The outcome unlocked exceptional latent psychic talents for the 2 of them. A child. Charlie has been gifted with the most extraordinary and uncontrollable power ever seen. Pyrokinesis, the ability to create fire with her mind. Now the agents of the shop, because the shop is who was running that experiment, also but nothing to secure her unimaginably terrifying gift. But Charlie is ready to retaliate. Wait, such sounds good. What was the problem with it? It actually has such like a really good concept. I think I was just like slightly a little bit like, okay, we're waffling quite a lot here. Okay, but yes, I don't know how far I got into it, but I'm just going to restart from the very beginning. Okay, so these are the 3 books that we are reading this month in April. And if we don't, it will be getting unhauled. I actually did the challenge right this time, unlike 4. So yeah, I guess I'll just take you through this month and we will read when we can. That is the current plan of action. There we go. Okay. So I'm currently in the 2nd book, and those are the other ones. see, this is what they're saying about Reich, because so many people talk about Reich and Daisy, but literally what? He's 22 and she's 15 right now. So that is when they have met, okay? So I've been reading this book last night. I was reading it on my Kindle because I didn't realize it's on Kindle Unlimited. So I was like, okay, well, I just need something to turn my mind off. I was just feeling like really funny last night, so I laid down and I just read it. And it's just so bingeable. And I do remember like reading the first one, and I remember thinking that it was very bingeable. And I really know what's happening. I really know what's gonna happen. And I'm not that far into it, but I can already tell that like this is gonna be something that I will be continuing on in the series. But what I might do is I might just like read it on here, potentially. I'll update later. I actually do not believe that for a single second. There's actually quite a lot of like specific phrases and things I'm just like, I don't know. I'm pleased to say that I finished Ricochet already, and I'm actually very invested in that. Wait, have I given you my final updates on this? I don't know, maybe I haven't. Okay guys, it's time to talk about Ricochet. I surprisingly highlighted and tabbed a lot of this book, and I wasn't expecting I was going to, but there was just so many quotes and lines and things, and I was just like, it's heartbreaking, or I relate. Like a lot of things I was like, wait, I relate to that, like, I don't know, whatever. But the darkness and quiet began to open the doors to my suppressed emotions. I curl up in my bed, the ocean waves not enough to rock me to sleep. I end up staring at the empty place beside me, wishing for the warmness of another body. The part where he returns freaks me out the most. All this anticipation courses through me, and I imagine the moment where he'll stand in my doorway and gently tell me that we'll have to break up for good, that he's moved on, reached a healthy status, and figured out that I'm the giant cancer in his life. You guys, this book, it's very complicated. My feelings for this are complicated. I will be reading the next ones, and I will be, I think, tabbing and doing all that. But yeah, let's talk about this book, because obviously it's definitely very character focused. So we have Lily, we have Lo. He suffers from alcoholism, so he's in a program, and she is just kind of dealing with that, and like dealing with separation, and dealing with her own thing, and like wondering if when they you know, come back together, because when they were together they were enabling each other's addictions. So now it's like, hang on, he's getting help for that. It's really sad seeing Lily struggle, and this book is about her struggle. This book really is her struggle. Lo, he's prevalent in this book, but he's not physically there. Like every time he's mentioned, really most of the time he's mentioned, it's through other characters or on a phone call or on a Skype call, but not like he's not physically there. Now I'm very interested in seeing Rose and Connor, because I remember I thought that Rose was very annoying, and I take that back. I'm so interested to just see her story, and I take back what I said about her, because that was mean. There is a foot photo scene in this which I was like, okay. I was surprised though, because all I've ever heard was Rose, Lily, and Daisy, and they have a sister called Poppy, and I was like, who is Poppy? And Poppy has a kid, and I'm like, what? I literally only thought there was only 3 sisters. So I read the first one so long ago, so Poppy was mentioned that. Do not remember. I thought it was just the 3 of them. I loved seeing Lily's journey. What I will say though is there's a lot of politically incorrect statements and specific word choices that were very derogatory, and I just have to mention that because I feel like some people, they do not like reading books where that is, because a lot of people, you know, they read to escape and they don't necessarily want harmful statements just like casually tossed around. There's a lot of flashbacks in this book, and it does end in literally like, it's like it ends in like it's another book. So I'm glad I have the next one available for me, because I'm just like, we can't just end there, you know. I will say though that Reich and Daisy is, I know they get a book, but like I'm disturbed. I'm heavily disturbed. Lily's disturbed. She's like, he's so much older than her, like, and she's a minor, and I know they get together, and it's creeping me out, and I'm just like, I don't know how they can possibly be together, because it's weird, and I don't like the dynamic, and I don't like that at all. So I'm very conflicted in this and how I feel about this book. I'm very conflicted. On one hand, I really like this. On the other hand, I was like, I didn't like aspects of it. So I don't know what to rate it, and I don't know. And like the writing isn't beautiful and lyrical. It's very character focused, but I like that it's character focused. I don't know. It's just, I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted with my feelings, and also maybe it's because this book is just so short. That's also why I'm conflicted, because it's literally less than 300 pages. That is what I have so far for this book, and that's all I have to tell you right now so far. Okay. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I will be continuing on with the next one. Guys, I don't know when I'm gonna read this. I really genuinely do not know when I'm gonna read this, because I started reading this book when I was 17. I actually think, did I film that? I think maybe I did. If I did, I'll like insert what younger me thought and said. I don't know. We have Firestarter by Stephen King. I started reading this book and then I just sort of kept going and going, and I stopped after the part where a man gouged his eyes out and they rolled down a hill. That's where I stopped reading it. First things first, I can't really do a review on this because I didn't read it. I haven't picked it up once throughout this entire holiday. So I'll read it a different day, not today, or any of my holiday. I'm gonna be honest, like, I am not really feeling excited about this book at all. See her hair there? I feel like that's how my hair's looking right now. Like, all like the flyaways and everything. I actually remember so much this book. I remember the couple in college and they volunteered for that experiment thing, which I think is funny because part of my degree, there are specific courses where if you sign up for like experiments, it sounds bad, but like if you sign up for experiments, you get like marks for it, you know? So I've done like quite a few psychology experiments, also just because I think about like if that was me, and inevitably if and when that would be me, I'm like, well, if I'm running an experiment, I want people to participate. Anyways, these colleges, they are in an experiment and it follows after that, but I know that the start is of a man and his daughter, and then the government's after them, or the police are after them. Someone's after them because this kid has 5 powers. It's called something, it's like I don't know how to say it. Pyrokinesis. Yeah, she has that. And to sit down and read this, because the thing about like Stephen King books that I have found is that it takes me a little bit to really be immersed in the world and to care, because there are so many characters and so many scenes, and the thing about them is they feel real. The characters feel real. They're very realistic, and I know that in his books a lot of, you know, non-realistic things happen. Like, obviously no one just casually has pyrokinesis, so I know that even then it still feels so real, and the characters like feel so real, and it takes me a little bit to like get invested, and then when I'm invested, then I just like want to know how things happen and how things pan out, because it's interesting ideas, and I think the plot and they're so interesting. Like, for example, like last month I read The Outsider, and you know, at first I literally just wanted to know, like, how on earth can it be possible for a man to be in 2 places at once, and I was just like, how? And then I was actually kind of disappointed. So I'm hoping I'm not disappointed with this one, which is why I'm trying to go with like the least expectations possible, aside from what I already know about it and what I already remember from reading it. And I think I'm just going to chill. I might actually listen to some of it because my Spotify hours reset, so I might actually listen to some of it while I'm, you know, doing whatever I end up doing. What an abhorrent man. What? So I finished Firestarter by Stephen King, so I want to tell you my thoughts and opinions about it. So really quickly, because I can't remember what I've told you. Yes, we're following Charlie, this young girl who has pyrokinetic powers, which basically means she can start fires with her mind, and she and her dad are on the run from this government agency, or like secret section of this government agency, who want to take her and study her powers and then like weaponize it, you know. And I will say, I actually, in the Stephen King books that like I like and I don't like, this one definitely leans towards the ones that I do like, because this book, it genuinely surprised me, because I did start it and I just did not like it at all. I wasn't invested in the storyline at all. That sounds mean, but anyways, let me tell you my thoughts. So honestly, a lot of this book, well, not a lot of it, there were quite a lot of aspects of this book that did remind me of Stranger Things, you know, with the labs and the experiments and the young girl who has powers, which reminded me of Elle. I actually love Stranger Things so much. I really do love it. Okay, anyways, this book has a lot of science fiction elements, a lot of horror elements, even thriller elements, with when they're, you know, running away and they're being chased, and it's a lot of like, are they going to escape? Are they not? I think you would like this book if you are interested in reading about experiments and supernatural mind abilities that are created in labs, mind control, governments, corrupt governments, secret government agencies, like secrets in agencies. God, my egg. This book is, again, it's very realistic in the depiction of horrendous, horrible people. Because yes, the people that are in this book, the things that they say, the horrible things that they do, it is indicative of the real world. It's actually so crazy. I'm like, yeah, they're very real. Meanwhile, this girl can like set things on fire with her mind. Okay, I don't mean like with the kind of elements of the book that are obviously like not realistic, like her powers, not the supernatural aspects, but there's definitely like there's lots of different stories and we're following lots of different people, and the worst of the worst are depicted in this book, which I get. Like, there's this man in the book, I'm gonna put like an emoji there instead of saying his name, but he is actually despicable. He is the most disgusting, vile human, and it actually is sickening, like what he does and just the way that he's portrayed, and just it's sickening. Like, it, I should be holding this, it's like actually so sickening. There's a lot of times in this book where I was very stressed out, like my heart was pounding. I was so stressed because of the specific chase aspects in this book. Obviously she and her dad, they're running from this agency type thing, so it's a lot of like running around. Yes, I was very interested in everything. I was very interested in storyline. I was very interested to see like what was going to happen, how everything was going to pan out. The ending, it was really sad. Like the ending, there's parts of the ending that I was like, oh, and then it kind of is like bittersweet, but it definitely is not like, I would not say it's a happy ending, like at all really. It's like, yeah, bittersweet is I think what I said. Some points I did find it like a bit tedious to get through, and I kind of had to find myself like dedicating specific times. I had to be like, okay, I actually need to sit down and read this now, like, because I just wasn't like naturally gravitating towards it. But I'm glad that I read it. I'm giving it, yeah, I think definitely it's in the 3.75 to 4 star realm. I think I'm just gonna give it 4 stars, but like, or maybe 3.75. I think 3.75 is the way to go. Yes, I was actually pleasantly surprised with this, and I'm glad that I have read it, because obviously the main character in this book is the child. I yearn for peace and quiet. I would actually go insane if it wasn't for these noise cancelling headphones. But like, just the, like this, for example, the line like, oh, and mummy's hands have been on fire, because, you know, Charlie, she's this child, she's so innocent, and she's just the way that she depicts things. But yeah, I'm glad that I read this. I'm gonna pretend that it's not currently the 12th of June as I'm telling you this. Look at you laying on the book. We have Rebecca, and I've not started this. I think it's just so interesting because last month I pulled Jane Eyre, and then now there's Rebecca, and I'm very interested in Rebecca actually. I'm very excited for this. The moment I finished, I turned to page 1 and started over again. Did you know that in the olden days, like a little while ago, how I rated 5 stars was whether or not I would immediately reread it? And then I had to loosen that up because, like, that's a bit extreme, but that was how I was like, a book is not 5 stars, because if it was, I would have reread it immediately after. But, and that's why then I only had Manacled for my 5-star read for like the longest time, because that was the only book that I just immediately reread, and I'm still reading actually. I'm currently on page 2, and the writing is just so beautiful. The way that everything is described, it's like, in other books I would tab it, I'd underline it, because I like the imagery and I like the way things are painted in my mind. But this is just like every single sentence is like it. So it's like if I was to be underlining, I'd just be underlining the whole book, so I'm like restraining myself. But like, okay, shall I go back to the beginning and like read you some of the lines, just because I'm obsessed with the way that it's written. And nature had come into her own again, and little by little, in her stealthy, insidious way, had encroached upon the drive with long, tenacious fingers. The woods, always a menace even in the past, had triumphed in the end. They crowded, dark and uncontrolled, to the borders of the drive. The beeches with white, naked limbs leant close to one another, their branches intermingled in a strange embrace, making a vault above my head like the archway of a church. The terrace sloped to the lawns, and the lawns stretched to the sea, and turning I could see the sheet of silver placid under the moon, like a lake undisturbed by wind or storm. No waves would come to ruffle the stream water, and no bulk of cloud, wind-driven from the west, obscure the clarity of this pale sky. A lilac had mated with the copper beech, and to bind them yet more closely to one another under the malevolent ivy, always an enemy of grace, had thrown her tendrils about the pair and made them prisoners. Do you see what I'm saying?
I walked enchanted, and nothing held me back. Moonlight can play odd tricks upon the fancy, even upon a dreamer's fancy. As I stood there, hushed and still, I could swear that the house was not an empty shell, but lived and breathed as it had before. Light came from the windows, the curtains blew softly in the night air, and there in the library the door would stand half open as we had left it, with my handkerchief on the table beside the bowl of autumn roses. Guys, I love this writing style. I'm obsessed with this writing style. I love everything, and I can just pitch everything so vividly, and I'm literally on page 3. I strongly suspect this book is going to be, I can't say a word. I just don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx it. But like, I'm just obsessed already with the writing style. And what I know about this book is that basically there's a romance between this girl and this guy, and then, but she's at the house or whatever, and then she thinks that the wife is haunting her or something like that, and they don't give her a name, do they? Like, the main character's book doesn't get a name, does she? Okay, well, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I'm already like loving this. I'm just so obsessed with writing style. So I'm not like, I haven't annotated anything because I'm like, well, what would I annotate if not just everything, you know? Okay. A cloud hitherto unseen came upon the moon and hovered an instant like a dark hand before a face. The illusion went with it, and the lights in the windows were extinguished. I looked upon a desolate shell, soulless at last, unhaunted, with no whisper of the past about its staring walls. There are so many parts that it is so ominous. I love when they say this in old books and movies. There's a Mr. Crawley in this book. Mr. Crawley. Why do I relate everything back to Sing? I relate everything back to Sing because I'm just thinking about Miss Crawley. What a mean thing to say.
Let's talk about Rebecca, because this book is 5 stars, and I finished this book last night, and I love this book. I love this book. I went into this book knowing that I had already read Jane Eyre, and that was going to be significant in some way, because I swear I heard somewhere that this is kind of like based a little bit on Jane Eyre, and I've heard a lot about this. Okay, now there's a popular book, and it's not old. It's a popular book by a very popular but also now infamous author, and everyone was like, that book wishes it could be Rebecca. So in my mind, I thought that I had figured out the twist in this book. I did not. The twist in this book, I was like, hang on, because I was expecting it to be a different twist, and it wasn't. I'm getting ahead of myself. There are so many beautiful quotes in this book. I don't even think you understand. It would take me so long to go through everything. It's so beautiful. The sun was so full of promise, and the sea was whipped white with a merry wind. A crooked house lent to a cob square. High up in the tumbled roof there was a window, narrow to a slit. It might have held a presence medieval, and, reaching to the desk for pencil and paper, I sketched in fancy with absent mind a profile, pale and aquiline, a sombre eye, a high-bridged nose, a scornful upper lip, and I added a pointed beard and lace at the throat, as the painter had done long ago in a different time. Also, we don't know her name. We never know her name. My name was on the envelope, and spelled correctly, an unusual thing. We don't even know her age. We know that she's young, because people are like, you know, Miss of the Winter could have been your father. Like, but we don't know her name, we don't know her age. And I feel like that's very impactful. But Rebecca, the way Rebecca is just in this book. She's not a character. Oh, she's a character in this book. Okay, she's not like a physical character, but the way that she's talked about and the way that her presence has just left a mark on this house. Now, I've never listened to Tolerate It by Taylor Swift, but maybe I need to, because apparently Tolerate It was based upon this. I guess I have to say, Mr. De Winter, there's something, he's not very pleasant, and to like, Mr. Winter, okay, he's just not pleasant at all. Like, he says so many things, and I'm just like, okay. Like, talking about marriage, he called her a fool. Even the proposal, violent love behind a tree. Violent? And doing that to her behind a tree? Violent? I didn't know it was a dark romance. She wants a beautiful wedding, and he's just like, well, you forget. But, like, I've already had that wedding before. So, and then he's like, promise me you won't wear black satin. I have these black satin pajamas, and when I was wearing them when I was reading this, I was just like, don't wear black satin. Like, I'm literally wearing black satin pajamas, like, as we speak. There's focus on the past. There's focus on the present and future and time and bottling time. And, like, specific scenes, like, bottling it in. And he's just like, what are you talking about? And she's like, yeah, wouldn't it be so nice because, like, bottle time? I gotta put my earrings on. Am I gonna even put on my earrings? Probably not. I feel really bad for her. Like, she's delusional. She's just like me. She's just like us, but like he likes her. And she craves a simple life. Because obviously like Manderley's is like a gigantic mansion. Manderley's very interesting. It is like this being itself, really. I really love how the main character does have an obsession with Rebecca, his ex. She has an obsession with his ex. Now, it's very easy for you to see, like, when she's, like, obsessing, it's very easy to see yourself in her. Well, I mean, it was me, but anyways. And, you know, that just aspect of, like, just not feeling good enough. Like, literally, this main character, she's strong, because there's a lot of talk of Rebecca. Like, even just, like, how Mr. De Winter, he would brush her hair. Max would brush her hair. Max! His name is Maxim. But, like, she called him Max. And, like, he would brush her hair and stuff. And I was just like, but really, it's just, he's so annoying. And there were so many aspects of this book. I was like, oh, like, there's this fancy dress party. And I was like, I can't do it. But there are so many also creepy, eerie elements in this book. How prevalent Rebecca is, that itself is just eerie and creepy. Especially considering the twist I thought was wrong. So there were so many aspects of the book where I was like, yeah, this is why it is. It's because of the twist. And then the twist was revealed and I'm like, that is not what I was expecting. So then what on earth was all that? I wish I could tell you, but I can't, because I think you should read it. And if you read it, then you'll know. I love how everything is always connected, because you know what? Everything is always connected, and I love that about Okay, sorry, my alarm just went off. Everything is always connected. Like, there are things that are mentioned at the beginning, and then it is prevalent at the end, and I do love that. And on the back here it says, at the moment I finished, I turned to page 1 and started over. I could say that, because I got to the end and I was like, I need to reread this, but I've got too many books in my physical TBR to do that, so we will reread this, just not now. And I definitely want to read more by this author, because I love the way she wrote. Like, I love the way she wrote. Like, the amount of things that I underlined and highlighted. I also did find a highlighter that works. It kind of bleeds through, but also then kind of not. No, it doesn't actually. But there were so many beautiful quotes, and I loved it. There's parts of my heart was literally in my throat, and I was like, this is actually scary. This is part where she's in the car and she has this dream, and I was like, unsettled. And I was literally like, this happened last night, and I was laying here, and then my cat jumped on my bed. I didn't see her, and I got my heart, like, actually, I screamed. This book was just so good. It was amazingly good. I will read it. I literally cannot believe I had this on my TBR for just how this long, because it was so good. And yes, it is 5 stars, and I thought it was so good. And I want to just spend my time reading aloud quotes to you, but I'll just be here for so long, because I highlighted so much, because it was just, the writing was just so beautiful. I love the way that the scenery was described when she's looking out the windows. See, this is just a heartbreaking quote. See, as I sipped my cold tea, I thought with a tired, bitter feeling of despair that I would be content to live in one corner of Manderley and Maxim in the other, so long as the outside world should never know. If he had no more tenderness for me, never kissed me again, did not speak to me except on matters of necessity, I believed I could bear it, if I was certain that nobody knew of this but our true selves. She loves him, and then it's like, oh, he does not love me, but she thinks she loves him, but then it's like, oh no, he actually doesn't. And then it's just her feelings with this man, and just how everything pans out. And I'm just like, this book was just so good, guys. It was just so good. Like, I loved the side characters, how they show up, and even characters that you hate, like Fable. I hated him, but just certain things that he said, I was just laughing, because I'm just like, he is so ridiculous. Like, and Mrs. Danvers, she's such a complex character. Rebecca went to Mrs. Danvers for everything, and Mrs. Danvers, I don't know, it's just, this book was so good. 5 stars. Even the dog, like, no, it's just all the specific scenes and everything, it was just so good.
I think if you are looking for a gothic setting, a very complex relationship between 2 characters with other woman drama, but it's done well. Like, it's done very well, and it's so complicated with very interesting side characters, a very interesting plot. Read Rebecca. If you want, like, found familyness, messy, trying to better yourself, drama, like, following a journey of characters, read the, like, Ricochet book. And if you're looking for the science fiction, you know, secret government organizations after the people with supernatural powers, there's this heavy chase aspect, read Firestarter.